the community manager at Riverside, and I am here with my colleague Steven. He is our video producer and podcaster here at Riverside, and we are going to be doing our monthly demo. So every month we show off all of the new tools that we've added, but also go through end-to-end how you can record, edit, clip, transcribe, really create your content end-to-end on Riverside. As we're going through, we have the live chat open for anyone who's watching live. So feel free to let us know if you're new to Riverside, if you're just checking us out for the first time, or if you've been a longtime user and just kind of want a refresher and to hear what new features are out. But otherwise, just to give a little bit of a preamble here, we're going to be going through, as I said, the recording, the after recording, all of the show notes, the transcripts, everything that you get with each of your recordings. We're going to be going into the editor, and we're going to be showing you how to make some clips. And I also just want to note right off the top that this session will be recorded. And I say that because pretty soon you are going to be your head will be spinning with so many features that we have. No, but usually we get the comment in the chat asking if it's going to be recorded because there's so much that we're showing you. So we will definitely be recording it and sending it out to anyone who has registered. I see a lot of new people in the chat, and we're excited to show you around. And because, again, I said there's a lot to show you, Steven, I'm going to hand it off to you for the honors.
Wonderful. Sounds good. Lots of people already in the chat saying new users, and they've been using it for about a month. So great. We're going to jump into it and show you all the tools maybe you've seen or haven't yet seen. And here is the Riverside homepage. So this is when you first log into your Riverside account, and we've put your recent edits there at the top, and you can quickly jump in to start recording right away, jump into edit it, or even go live. And one of the things you'll likely do is record with remote guests or a co-host. And to do that, that's under the Plan tab. You can schedule a future recording session, including now, you can even schedule live streams that will sync to your YouTube channel. So you can schedule in Riverside and it will publish to your YouTube channel and other social destinations, which we'll talk about in a second. But you pull that guest link, send it to someone, and they can join you in the studio. Now we'll be coming back to the dashboard, talking about projects and all your past episode recordings and how to make clips, but let's jump in and record something and live stream it. So I'm going to hit record. This next screen is what you and your remote guests will see all the time, which is the lobby screen. You choose your camera, microphone, and speaker. That could be a USB microphone, your built-in microphone, and you get a little preview here. Let's join the studio. So here we are in the Riverside Studio. You still have access to that guest link if you need. And lots of things going on here. And so I'm going to try and go slowly. I have a tendency to go fast. I'm going to go slow and make sure everyone can see everything.
While we're talking about pace really quick, hold on, I'm going to bring myself on the screen. Hello. I just want to make a quick note because while we're showing this off, you're going to be seeing Steven twice. So you're going to see him on the bottom in this picture-in-picture format, and you're going to be seeing him in this bigger screen. So you might see a little bit of a delay in the bigger screen. That's just because we're sharing a tab and showing another studio. So I just want to make a note there. And yeah, so let's jump around. Let's start off with the live stream features that we have, because one thing that we can do at Riverside is that you can record and edit, but a great part of it is that you can go live with Riverside as well. So that's what we're doing right now, actually. We're going live in our Riverside Studio and on YouTube and on Twitter, which is great. So I want to start it off with going live.
Let's do it. And I also am going to bring in a remote guest. Will it help if I turn off this camera, do you think? Especially for Kindle.
Let's keep it on just because then people will be able to see you in real time. And more you is just always great. I'm sure the people in the chat will agree.
Nice. All right, well, I actually just had a remote guest join me. Mr. Manatee is here in the studio. And so I can change, like any remote guest or co-host, I can change their name here. And that will be displayed both to your live stream, and you'll see it here in the studio. We can also change the layouts. And this is a big deal when you're live streaming. If you want to focus on the active speaker while you're live streaming, you can do that, and Riverside will switch back and forth with whoever's speaking. So you have that full screen speaker layout. You have speaker split screen, so you can see the active speaker large and the other speaker is small. And you can even pin someone. So if you wanted to focus on like your interview guest, whether you interject with a question or not, there's a little pin icon when you roll your mouse over a guest or participant's frame, and then you can pin them to show them as large here in the studio, and they'll stay that way. So those are some live stream layouts. We might come back to that. I'm going to go back to the grid view, and we can go to, I'll keep it like that. And then to live stream to all your destinations, all those tools live right up here. And so I can click live stream, and you can enable audience mode. That's what you're using to watch this webinar right now, is Riverside audience mode, where you can do audience live call-ins and things like that. But you can also connect social media destinations. You say, I already have my Twitch account right here. And if I click the plus icon, you'll see I can add all of these just by logging in. I can add my YouTube channel, Facebook page, LinkedIn profile, and also any custom RTMP destination. And if you're not familiar with that, we have an entire video on the Riverside YouTube channel that I talk about it in detail. But if you want to stream to Instagram or even TikTok from a Windows PC, you can do that using RTMP. So that's that feature. And if you upgrade to the Live Studio add-on, you can stream it up to 1080p high definition and also remove the watermark. Now I'm actually going to record and live stream right now, because there's some awesome features when it comes to comments and actually lower thirds that I want you to see in real time. So I'm going to press start recording. And a great part about Riverside is not only are you going to be live streaming in high quality, but you're still being recorded in high quality locally on both your machines and your remote guest. And those files will be uploaded for you to edit, repurpose, and download later. So we're live right now. I'm recording, I'm live streaming. And let's actually see what it looks like on one of those destinations. So I was streaming to Twitch. I'm going to open that in another tab. And here we are. There's the live stream over in Twitch. Now what's really cool is I'm going to send, let's say there's someone watching on Twitch and they say, hey, love the live stream. Well, when they send, of course they do. When they send that message on Twitch, here in my Riverside Studio, I actually get that message due to our OmniChat feature. So I can go over to the chat window here, go over to live stream chat, and that comment that came in via Twitch is right here for me to be able to see it, interact, and even show it on the stream. So I can increase, I want this to show for 20 seconds. I'll click show on stream. And just like that, I'm showing a comment from Twitch that I got right here in the Riverside Studio, and I'm now showing it on stream. And those watching all the destinations like Twitch, they see the comment as well. And now you can send a message back. Maybe you just want to say, thank you. And by sending a message here in the Riverside Studio, that's actually going to get sent to those social media destinations like Twitch automatically. So now you can manage that chat, getting the messages from YouTube and Twitch here in the Riverside Studio, showing them on screen as lower thirds, and then sending messages back out to all those destinations simultaneously. And one other feature along the same lines as lower thirds, you have our text tool here on the right-hand side. So for while you do live streams, if you'd like to show something like full webinar masterclass and you want to show that as a lower third, you can do that. Or you can even show lower thirds with clickable links for those in Riverside audience mode. And this is actually clickable when someone's watching via that audience link. You can create as many lower thirds as you want, program them to hide after a certain time or manually, and all of these will stay here in your studio until you remove them. So if you have some that you use regularly, they'll be persistent here for as long as you need.
We do have one quick question that I'm just going to come in and say. That's live comes on in some of my sessions, but I can't turn it off. So if you do hook up your live streaming to your account, can you just show really quickly how you turn that off after the session?
Absolutely. So you can do that in a couple places. First, you can, of course, go up to live stream here and toggle things off. But you also might want to go to the studio settings. So that is that gear icon right here. You can also access this in the dashboard. You can go to all settings, live stream, and here you'll see all of your social media destinations that you might have connected. If you want to remove one, you can click the trash can and it will remove that. Sometimes people will add live stream destinations in the browser and then go to record on their mobile device and not realize that they're live streaming because they connected it on their browser and they use the same studio. So you can manage those connections here in the settings, or even more so, turn them on or off. Then you don't have to disconnect them completely here in that live stream menu at the top.
I love that you say it's some people, but it was totally you, Stephen, one time.
It literally was me. Kendall, so hey, are you live streaming? I was like, yeah.
I was like, there's a new live on the Riverside channel.
Yeah, I was live streaming to the Riverside YouTube channel. That was horrifying. So yeah, that was great.
It's okay. I'm sorry to call you out here, but we just like to remind that this happens to us as well. It happens to us too. Cool. So that was live streaming. Let's move on to just general recording.
Absolutely. And Marco asked, can you live stream to Instagram? You can do that right now via RTMP. And that I talk about that specifically on the YouTube channel. I'll get that video in a little bit. So when it comes to recording, again, it's the same process. I'll turn my live stream destinations off, but it's still the same record button. You get the 5-second countdown, which you can disable in settings if you want. And once it hits 0, you're recording in high quality. You and your remote guests, video and audio is being recorded locally on each device and uploaded. You see the record button here and here. And as you're recording, we're going to let you know how much is uploaded. So you see on every person, there's a percentage uploaded, and then kind of an average total here at the top. Those are those high quality files. And so as it's uploading. Now, if you want to focus on the live stream and make sure your live stream quality is as good as possible, there is a setting that allows you to pause those video and audio uploads. This way, all your bandwidth will be dedicated to that live quality. But by default, it's going to upload in real time. Go ahead.
And just to quickly explain with the uploading, what makes Riverside such high quality is that it's being recorded locally onto your computer. So the files that you're going to get when you are recording, it's going to be even higher quality files once you export them or download them. So what it's doing is recording onto your computer and then progressively uploading that file to your Riverside dashboard. So you're getting that high quality, but you're still able to access it all in your browser. I want to also, you're going to say something, but I want to also talk about the script feature and get into all that.
Absolutely. So down here at the bottom while you're recording, and you could load this in before, we do have a script where you can copy and paste an entire script here for you to reference as you record. And even more so, you can jump into teleprompter mode, adjust the font size and speed of the scroll, and you can literally read off a teleprompter right here as you're recording in the Riverside Studio. All done right here, which is awesome. People love that. That's also available if you use the Riverside app, like on your iPhone and iPad. So you can do that script and teleprompter feature there. And then to make all of your recordings and live streams more engaging, you can share media files and share your screen multiple ways. We have a media board here on the right, and here you can upload video and audio clips. And when you upload those clips, you can preview them, set them as live. And now I'm sharing a video. I can change the layout if I was live streaming to focus on the media. And what's great is just like your video and audio and your guest, these media board shares and screen shares are also recorded locally and uploaded as individual files. So if you want to download them later and they'll be all in sync, and you can also access these via the Riverside editor, and we'll show you that in a minute as well. So you can share the media board files, video or audio clips, and you can also share your screen, either a window, a tab, or an entire display. Like if you wanted to do a tutorial video, you can do that here, and I'm sharing a secondary display. Also recorded locally, also in HD quality, so your screen shares will look great. Anything else we should do here in the studio, you think?
I think that we are all right. So, because we want to just give you a basic kind of overview of everything that you can do within your studio. So, we talked about branding, correct?
I think I'm sorry, way out. Last thing. So, especially for live streams, the branding. The brand tool here on the right, you can upload a logo. You can upload a custom background. With the Live Studio add-on, you can do a custom background and even custom hex code color for your brand color. You can even choose a brand font that will apply to things like your name labels here. And you can brand the studio so it looks like your brand when you're live streaming. You can also change the size and style of the names here on top of the video. You can change the color. Maybe it'll highlight your brand color, which I put as white right now. And you can also add titles to your guests and co-hosts, which is great when you're live streaming as well. And that's the brand tool.
Awesome. So once you're finished recording, the real power of Riverside beyond the high quality files is all of the stuff that you can do after you're done recording. So for example, you're able to get, like, we basically created this platform with the kind of content that you're making in mind. So whether you're going to be making testimonial videos, whether you're going to be doing podcasts, YouTube videos, we have made it so that you can easily edit them for any social platform that you want, get your show notes, get your transcripts. So that's really beyond the high quality files, I think, the real power of Riverside. So I want to go into the recordings page and what happens after you're done with this recording.
Let's do it. So we just finished this recording. And by the way, someone was asking, or Cole was asking, only the host needs to hit record, and then all the guests are recorded automatically. Your guests don't have to hit record on their own. So here in the dashboard, I'm going to go to my projects, which has all my previous recordings. And you can see I do a weekly video podcast. I personally record it in Riverside. And I'm going to jump into one of those past recordings here. And you have a bunch of great tools that you can use automatically, like using AI. So the first thing that I would do is probably generate magic clips because it's super fun. And you can share those on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. So when I click generate on magic clips, this is going to create vertical short form videos. I can choose about how long I want these videos to be. I can even choose to focus on a specific speaker or guest, and even type in a topic if I want these magic clips to focus on a certain topic. I can click generate clips, and I can do that multiple times. And as you can see, I've already generated a bunch of clips from this recording. And now you have a bunch of ready-made with animated captions, high quality clips that you can share. And we also have a full episode generator. And in this way, you can customize how you want, and I'm going to go through all these AI tools more in detail in a moment for the editor, but you can remove silences, remove filler words, have tracks muted when someone's not speaking. You can apply all those settings that you want by default and then generate a full episode edit automatically. And you can even have that generate just for every time you record. And it's going to apply all those AI tools automatically. So let's actually jump into the editor where really the magic happens. So
I do want to take a quick pause and just say that there has been a multiple question from Ruhi that asks, that was looking forward to the question on background. Stephen, is that your background or is that the virtual background? Because we didn't talk about virtual backgrounds, but you can answer the question and then we'll talk about it.
This is not a virtual background. I can reach back and touch these things. I can't reach because my headphones will unplug, but no, this is legit.
But you'll notice that in our virtual backgrounds package that we have, that you actually could get Stephen's background. We had him take pictures of his own studio so that anyone can also look as pro as Stephen and sit in his studio without being in his home, because that would be quite weird.
Yeah, that'd be weird. I will say, and just to prove again that this is real, I can do a parlor trick here, which is change the background color behind me. So maybe I want a purple and blue, or maybe I want to change it to orange, or maybe even go to teal. Is live changing behind me as we talk. So there you
now
go.
He's just showing off.
It's the real deal. I just want to prove.
Proving it's real.
I want to prove it's real. That's all. Proof of reality. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me go back. So we're going to go back to the dashboard. Let's jump into the Riverside editor. I'll create a new edit. And here, this is where all the magic happens. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. But the first thing I want to focus on is our AI tools. One of the AI tools is Magic Audio, which I would use right now to cut out the lawnmowers that are right outside my window. So apologize.
I was wondering if that was you or me.
That's totally me. But Magic Audio can cut that out, which is one of our amazing tools here under the AI Producer. And so when you open the AI Producer panel up here, we have a bunch of awesome tools. So remove pauses. This was the set pace feature before. We'll actually tell you how many pauses that we can cut. And so this is basically stripping the silence. And you can choose, do you want a more balanced pace so it's not super fast and it's more like for your full episodes? Or are you creating a short form video and want to remove any semblance of silence? You can do that. And what's crazy is you can even see in the timeline down here that it's going to change in real time as you're adjusting that setting. So I'm going to zoom in, which this timeline is showing you the audio waveforms for you and your guests. And And if I go back to that remove pauses, I can adjust this little slider, and you can see the silence at the very beginning of the recording. It removes it, and even as I increase the pace, it will remove more and more silences, and it'll show you that in real time. Wild feature there. You can also remove all filler words, and we're going to tell you we're going to cut 173 ums and ahs, so I'm going to apply that. So all my filler words are gone. And another awesome feature is Find Fluff. This is actually a new feature, brand new. So if you're watching this webinar, you might be the first to hear it. I actually have to go to an episode that has fluff in order to show this off. So let me go here. And fluff is basically all that small talk and the other things that are part of your recording that maybe you should cut it out and really focus on the content and help your viewers and listeners have the best experience. So when you jump into a recording, our cut fluff feature is automatically going to find those moments where it's like, you know what, maybe you want to cut this out. And it'll appear here, and you can actually scroll through all the moments that our AI producer thinks are fluff. I can just remove it by clicking apply, and now the fluff is gone from your edit right here. And you can look at all these big purple dots on top of the timeline. All of those are fluffs. And we even give you a reason why we think you should cut this particular fluff. And you can click apply and remove it. Those are also they also live in the AI producer, and you can see all the suggested parts of fluff that you can cut. Magic Audio, which I mentioned before, and I would apply to this webinar recording to cut out my background noise. You can now apply Magic Audio, which removes background noise, removes echo, applies effects in the background that makes any microphone sound studio quality. I can apply that to just one or all of the tracks here in Riverside. And now, this is actually a new feature. If you don't see it in your studio, it should be coming very soon. We even have a percentage slider. And so if you want to apply our AI Magic Audio at 50% and you find that's the best sound, you can do that. If there was a lot of background noise, you can crank it up to 90%. And now you can control how much AI processing is done on each individual track. And the last tool that I'll cover here is Smart Mute. And this is really good because when someone's not speaking, sometimes they might be tapping their desk, maybe they have some background noise going on, and Smart Mute will mute that audio track when the person is not speaking. And I can see exactly what that tool did by expanding the tracks here down in the timeline, and you'll see all these sections that are now hashed out. That was the silence that is now muted. And if I want, I can even go in and adjust this more granular if I want to cut out more or bring some back because I want those moments of silence before speaking. You have all those controls using our individual track editor. And so those are some AI tools that I just use right off the bat to cut down the editing time and basically get it ready to almost publish. Any questions or things before I go on?
We have a ton of questions, but I want to get through because we're going to be answering some of the questions as we go through, and then I will get back to those. But let's keep showing some of the features, and then we're going to move on to, we're going to create a clip in real time using the transcript and the timeline editing.
All right, awesome. And one thing I'm going to do too is we have our brand toolkit here in the editor as well. And I actually have a logo, a background. You can even choose to have intros added, beginning, outros, or if you want animated captions by default. And you can apply your brand to any edit with one click. And so I actually like to round the corners of my videos, put a background image. There's the Riverside logo. One click, these clips can look exactly how you want. Now, when I need to edit my content, let's say this first part, I want to cut it out because the episode really begins here. Well, editing via the transcript is as easy as editing a Word document. I just select the text, click the trash can, and I've edited my video and audio. It's that simple. And I can go through the transcript, find parts that I need to remove, select it, delete, and I'm editing right there and then. I can always show the parts that I've deleted if I want to go back and undo it. You see them grayed out here, or hide it to focus on the final edit. You can also search the transcript, which is great if you want to find a clip, or if you want to edit out something specific, you can search for a word, search for a phrase, and it will jump right to it. And then you can pull a clip, make the edit, or whatever you need to do. And one cool feature, like let's say pulling a clip, like Kendall was saying, maybe I want to make this a clip right here, just this text. Well, I'm going to select this text, and then you'll see a bunch of tools here in a little popover menu. You can do things like add comments if you want to remind yourself of things later or collaborate with someone. But Kendall's favorite feature, and it's now one of my favorite features, is the Create New Edit button. And what this will do is it will take the text that I have selected, I'll click Create New Edit, and now this is going to create a new draft in your dashboard with just that content that you had selected. It happened to be a 43-second clip, and now I can go forward and make this into a clip, reformat it, add animated captions, which let's do that. I can reformat this with a single click right here, make a vertical 9:16 video, reformats all of our videos, done. Or even go to a 1x1 square, and it's that easy to reformat this in multiple ways. I like vertical, so I'm going to go to a 9:16. Maybe I want to hide my co-host because he's not really speaking during this clip. Well, I can go to the track section, I'll unclick his video, and now it's just focusing on me and the screen share that I had because I was talking about something there. I'm going to add animated captions. Easy. Click the captions tool here on the right, click a style you like, customize it and save it however you would like as well. And now we have animated captions on a vertical clip. I was sharing my screen while we recorded, which we showed you how to do in the studio. Riverside puts it all together for me. That easily could create a clip and it's ready to go. And one other new feature, super fun, video overlays. So if you're going to make these short form clips, or maybe you record audio only and you're trying to make audiograms that are still visually engaging. Well, I can click videos here, and now I can search for a word or a phrase, whatever I would like, and find a video B-roll that fits what I'm looking for. Let's choose this one right here. That video B-roll, I can now expand it to fill the frame. And now it's going to process that, fill the frame, and I have animated B-roll over my clip. I can preview it in real time. It's got the animated captions. Now the video B-roll is playing. And just that quickly, I made engaging content, animated captions, and I can do this over and over again and create dozens of clips. And the magic clips that are generated automatically have the captions and everything applied, so I can just go in and add my B-roll, and I'm done. You can also add background music. So if you'd like to upload your own audio files and add those in the background, or choose from our stock audio library right here, I can add an background audio track right here. I can adjust the volume, fade in and fade out. And again, adding even more elements to this clip, and I'm ready to go. Then I can export this up to 4K quality. I do 1080p for vertical videos like this. I can jump in and export the audio, like for your full-length episode for your podcast host, and you're good to go. That's how easy it is to make those clips like that. What do you think, Kendall?
Awesome. There were a few questions that came in from the chat about adding text. So when you're looking at us right now, you can see that we have our names, for example. Those names, when you're recording, aren't exactly carrying over to the editor, but there are ways that you can use text overlays so that you can put your speaker names, for example. It's something that I do on every video that I'm editing. So let's show how you do that. And maybe we got a comment to slow down a little bit on where we're clicking, because it's hard for them to see a little bit in this format.
For sure. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Maybe this will help. Let's go with that. So if you wanted to add those text overlays, like speaker labels, the text tool is the bottom one here in the right-hand sidebar. I can open the text tool, and here I can choose speaker. There's different styles, and we can customize this as well. But I'll choose speaker. And because I chose speaker, it automatically pulled my name in because that's the track name that I put when we first recorded. And so now I can go here to my text overlay. If I wanted to, I can drag the in and out points. And if I want this to be the entire length of my edit, well, I can do that too. I do have to zoom in far enough to grab those little handles. And then I can drag it to be the entire length of the clip. So now it goes all the way to the beginning and all the way. And then I can move this around. So I'll put this under my name. And we have lots of different styles here. So you can choose kind of a different style there. You can choose different fonts and like 3D shadow, a solid background. Choose your fonts here. And we even, you could choose the size. So you want to make it a little larger, you could do that too. And what's cool is we also have animated intro or like in and out animations for text overlays. So if you wanted to fade in the name and then fade it out, you could do that too, even how long you want it to fade in. And now if we zoom in and kind of preview this, we'll see the name fade in and out. Let me go back a little bit, preview it, and there's the name. And I can add my co-host name or guest name as well, and it can be there the whole time, or it can fade out after a few seconds. And you can add as many text overlays as you want throughout the edit, along with image overlays. So if you do have some images, maybe you want to upload an image, or you want to search the royalty-free image library, you can do that. And just like text overlays, I can resize these. So maybe you have a lower third kind of design that you want to upload. Well, you can upload that image, and just like a text overlay, have that appear throughout the entire clip. It can be a full screen overlay like that, or you can resize it and put it wherever you'd like.
Something that I love to do is you can actually highlight in the transcript. So when I'm editing this demo, what I do is you'll probably see if you watch the recording, because again, we are recording this, I will highlight the part where I introduce ourselves and do an animated slide in and slide out of our names. It's something that I just think looks really sleek. So what I do is exactly what Steven's showing. I highlight the exact point where I want it in and out in the transcript, press add, and then do text. And so I can choose exactly based on the words that I'm saying. That's just easier for me to do, where it's going to start and where it's going to end.
I just added a name for my co-host there. And let's see what that looks like animated in. So my name's kind of persistent throughout, but you see his name came in. And the text that I had selected before, when I clicked that little plus icon, that's exactly how long this name is going to be on screen. And then it's going to animate away. And goodbye. There it is.
I want to go through a few questions, but first I wonder, can we show layouts? We haven't really gotten into scenes and layouts.
Yes, let's do it. So one of the other AI tools I would highly recommend you try is in the layout, we have our smart scenes feature. And when you click that, this is basically going to create a multicam looking edit, meaning it will focus on the active speaker, or during those in-between moments of conversation, focus on both people. So for instance, this portion, it has both of us on screen, but I'm going to preview it. And what Smart Scenes did is in this moment where it's just me talking, it's now going to focus on me only. And then when it goes back and forth between me and my co-host, it's automatically going to switch to both of us. And all of that Riverside did automatically. And same thing when my co-host speaks, then he will show up instead of me. And so you can have that multicam edit look right here in Riverside. Again, it's focusing on my co-host when he's speaking. And that was just with one click using the Smart Scenes feature. Now, if you wanted to change things around, maybe this portion, it's just my co-host, but I want to be on screen as well. Well, you can edit that scene or create new scenes wherever you would like and choose who you would like displayed. And so you can add yourself, you can move things around and change the layouts and all of that right here when you do the smart scenes. So great way, especially if you do interview content, to focus on the active speaker and you and the guest when you're like asking questions and so on and so forth. So highly recommend going to the layout, trying the smart scenes. And again, you have several styles here to choose from. If you like the full screen look the whole time, picture in picture to focus on the active speaker, or you can just have that grid view, which is the default when you start a new clip.
I also, if you can go over to a part where you have on grid, you two next to each other, one of the things that I also really love is that you can flip who's on each side if you want to really easily just by clicking and dragging. So maybe we want Steven on the left in this instance. Or you can do exactly what Steven's doing there, which is open up the track and flip them. So really easy to flip them from one side to the other, customize that look. And so you see how Steven and his co-host are kind of at different lengths away from the camera. So if you want to make that a little bit more uniform, what you can do is you can click onto either of their shots and zoom into it. So Steven, you can show that off.
I will. I got a bunch of I should probably close some tabs, but let me see. So if I wanted to zoom in, let's say, I'm going to go back to this project here, and we can go back to 16 by 9. And okay, we'll go here. So let me go to a place where we're both on screen. And if I needed to zoom in, I click on the video, click the crop tool, zoom in, and I can reframe his video. And now we're a little more even. And in the same way, I can do it over here and zoom in on me, crop and reframe everybody's video, and that will apply throughout the edit.
We've also gotten a few questions about adding intros and outros, or we just got one from Melody that asks about editing 2 clips together. So if you'd like to do that, or let's say that you have an ad break. Let's say that you want to add a cold open and you'd like to have one part from your episode play and then have the intro and then have the rest of your episode play. I want to show a little bit of the add button, and then I want to quickly just show the copy and paste feature that we have in the transcript.
Let's do it. So to add an intro or an outro, you'll see these big plus buttons at the beginning and end of the timeline down here in the bottom left. And when I click that, I can choose anything from other recordings, other edits in my studio, or if you created an intro that you uploaded, I can choose one of those as well. And so I'll choose this little 3-second intro, and it will add that to the beginning of this edit, and I have my intro, just like that. And when I play it in real time, it's going to go from the intro to us talking. So you can add that intro. You can also do the same for an outro. And let's say we need to insert something in the middle. Well, I'm going to go down here in the timeline, find that break, and then I can use this tool here on the left for split, or just click S on the keyboard. And now I've split these 2 sections down in the timeline. Once they're split, I can now roll my mouse in between them, and you'll see a plus button appear where I can do the same thing. Click the plus button, pull from my other recordings and edits, or from my uploads. And maybe we have an ad break, or another quick video that we'd like to insert. Oh, look, this is great. This is a video of the Riverside iPhone app that I want to insert. Well, done. And now we inserted that video. That could be an ad break. That could be something you recorded. And that is inserted in the middle somewhere in this clip. And we can preview that. There's the video that we inserted, and then it will go back to the recording and the clip that we were doing before. Now, if we wanted to copy and paste something from later in the episode, maybe there's a really engaging moment. Maybe someone was laughing, or there's just something really just that draws people in, something that hooks people.
Yeah, for example, Alexis just asked, how do I add a hook before the intro? You can use that add button and take whatever hook if you've already created the clip out of it. But what Steven's about to show you is exactly how to make that hook, add that hook to the intro using the transcript.
Right. So let's say this is a part that you want to use at the very beginning as a hook of the intro. Well, I can select the text, click the 3 dots, copy this, and I'll go all the way back to the beginning. So this is going to be my little intro hook. And you'll see if we go here, and this is a little intro video we inserted before, but I'm going to click my cursor right here before the first words, and I'm going to paste, and that's actually going to paste the video and audio from later in the recording as the intro. And maybe I pasted a little too much. Maybe I want to delete this. Well, I can select the text that I didn't need, click the trash can, and now I've literally copy and pasted a portion of the video and audio to the beginning as the intro, after a video intro, whatever you'd like.
Amazing. Well, that is a great overview of the editor. And then once you're done, if we could just talk about exporting, and then let's get to some questions.
Sounds good. When you export in the top right, you can export up to 4K video quality. And when you do that, let's say you want to make a video and audio version. Well, this little pop-up comes, and I'm going to choose Keep Editing, because that will basically duplicate this edit that I was making, this draft, with all the changes that I already made. You'll see it's going to have my intro, my inserted clips, the hook that I copy and pasted to the beginning. And now I can export an audio version of this edit, and I can just do that by going over to the audio tab. I did a lot of stuff in this edit, so it's thinking about it. But I can go over to export the audio clip, and I can do an uncompressed WAV or an MP3 file for your podcast host. And now I can export the audio only as well, and I'm done. I can go to exports, and now I have all my magic clips, my video, my audio exports ready for me. It's going to process for a second, and then it's ready for me to download. And you'll see I've already done a bunch of clips from this because this was my podcast. And you see I had my full episode edit. That was exported, and I can download it right here. This was a bonus episode we recorded, and all of these exports will stay here for me to download whenever I need. And if you wanted to get the transcript, not only can you go over and download the full transcript of your recording every time, these are all the recording files. Look at all the screen shares I did during this. You can download the transcript here or copy it. Or if you want the transcript from what you were editing because you made some changes and you want the precise transcript to match everything that you did, corrections and all of that, here in the editor, click the three dots and you can download it in a text format, SRT format, copy it to your clipboard. And we didn't even get a chance to talk about AI-generated chapters because Riverside also generates chapter markers every time you record, which is super useful because you can paste that in your YouTube video description, and that will create chapters in YouTube. Paste it in your podcast host for the episode description, and it will create chapters there. And you can also get your AI-generated show notes right here. I don't even know if we mentioned that, but you can generate show notes based on the recording, and here you also get those chapter timestamps generated that you can use however you'd like.
Awesome. So let's get to some of the questions. And yes, we will be getting to the YouTube questions, my YouTube friends. So we had Vegas Guy asking a few times about using Safari for Riverside. Unfortunately, we do not support Safari right now. We do have a Mac app, though, available. So if you would like to record not on Chrome or on Edge, which are both supported, you can also use our Mac app to record as well. So we have that question. We have a question. Can I establish a complete preset beyond just the apply brand function? So while this, Stephen, you can talk about the brand function and the presets, but I want to talk about workflows because that might help with what this user is asking for.
Yeah, so the workflow section, I talked about all those AI tools in the editor, but here, and I'm clicking right now on this full episode little card that you'll see in your recordings page, click Customize, and here I can choose the default ratio, whether or not I want to apply smart scenes by default, or if I want to do the grid by default. I can apply the brand that I created in the editor, my brand kit, whether or not I want to remove pauses and how fast I want that pace to be, whether or not I want to remove filler words, smart mute, and magic mute. And then all these are presets that are then saved. So when you just want to apply your brand, do all the audio enhancements using AI and video enhancements like smart scenes, you just click generate, and that applies all of that. All the templates that you generated, all of the brand, everything will be done in a click. And I've already done it for like all my episodes. Like this is the full episode generated right here. So that's why you might have seen a flag. But you can set all those presets in the workflow settings. Again, that's a little customized button right here. And you can even have that generate every time.
Awesome. So we have a few more questions. How can I add an image at the end of a video without it being an overlay? So this is a little trick that we like to do. Let's show them the empty section trick
yes.
that we like. Yes.
Very good, very good. So at the very end of your edit, so I'll go all the way to the end, you'll see we have the plus icon at the end, just like the intro. This is an outro. And one of the options for adding something is empty section. When I do empty section, this is now going to be empty, as you would expect. But I can go to my uploads and all the images that I've uploaded, let's say this one, we talked about RTMP live streaming, and I can expand that to fill the empty section. And now, after the full recording, it's going to go and actually just show that static image for however long I would like at the end of the clip.
We also have a question from Cole that says, what does a scribble icon mean inside the text transcript? Whenever you see a scribble icon, that is a filler word. Whenever you are identified by AI as a filler word, and whenever you see a dot, that is a silence. If you see a few of those dots in a row, that's a particularly long silence, which actually leads me to one of the questions. Does AI create the transcript, or do you have to manually type it in?
Transcript is automatically generated every time. And so once you're done recording and jump into the editor, that transcript is there waiting for you.
And we had another question, how can I resize a video? And we had a question that earlier, just to show again that you can switch from 16:9 to 9:16 that easily. Let's even show them 1:1. Let's go crazy. 1:1. So you can do that super easily right in your Riverside editor. Another question that we had is, we had a few. How can I add music underneath versus music transitions? So we had showed that before, but if you, Stephen, you can just show that.
Yeah, so you can add background audio anywhere. You can do it a couple ways. Click anywhere in the timeline, click audio you've uploaded or from the library, and I will embed it or put it underneath the video or right here where you had the playhead. You can also select text. So let's say I'll select this text right here, and maybe I want to add music just to that section. Well, I can do that too. I'll click the plus, and now I've added audio to that selected text section right there. And if I wanted to, let's say, had a little music interlude, maybe with a static image or a video clip, well, guess what? I can split the sections again. I can roll my mouse over where that plus icon is. I'm going to add an empty section here in the middle of my clip. And in that empty section, I'm going to add some music. So we can do another 35-second thing here. So there'll be music in that empty section. I can drag it like that. And maybe I want to add that video clip. Well, I can go to videos, do some B-roll, or go to my uploads and choose one of the video clips that I have here. And just like that, I can create a section of this recording that goes from us being recorded to a video overlay that I had uploaded. And let me make that full screen. And there's background audio as well, all right there. And so using those empty sections and splitting the clips, you can really do some powerful things in the editor.
One question came from Tobias asking about speaker labels. Will my annually added name plus my guest stick with my video even when the scene and layout changes, or do I have to add that label to each scene manually? So that depends on where you extend it to. So if you'd like it to carry over to every scene and stay in the same place, you can do that. And you can just set that by when you add the text, as Stephen's showing. If you'd like to have it changed by each scene, then that is something that you'll manually have to do and set that for each scene. But I will say that our team is working on a little bit more customization to the scene so that you can add a little bit more text or animated captions or setting things exactly by scene. So that is something that's coming.
Excuse me. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, question, is the editing we're observing being done on a cloud copy of the video or a local copy of the video?
So once you're done recording, your video and audio files were uploaded to Riverside, and they're not on your computer anymore. So it doesn't take up storage and hard drive space on your computer. So when you go to the editor, and all the editing I'm doing, this is actually editing off the cloud files, which is one of the reasons why when you're editing here, it might look like the quality is lower. That is not the quality when you export the final video. Because we drop that quality while you're editing so you can preview your changes in real time. That's why everything we've demoed right now in this webinar is live off the cloud files, if you want to call them that. Then when you go to export the 4K version, that's when you get the full quality. Riverside gets that, accesses those local high quality files. Sorry, not local on your computer. It accesses the high quality recordings, and that's what makes that look good in the end. And in a second, I'll actually pull up one of my finished recordings, and we can. I already got it. If you want to see what that looks like, so this is all the episodes on this YouTube channel were recorded, edited, and exported in Riverside. These didn't touch any kind of external editor. And when you go in, this is what the final version of the video looks like. And I did this in 4K. Every episode's in 4K, so I'll turn that on, and you get that high quality video and audio from your edits after you export.
That's a microphone I haven't seen before, I think, Stephen.
That was a little special mic I was trying. That's a surprise.
There's
there.
always something new. Awesome. So then when we're talking about uploading, somebody had asked, can you explain how to pull an RSS feed from each of the following created on Riverside? My goal, it's first cover that, because they had listed video recordings, edits, and exports. My goal is to upload content to my YouTube channel, and I can't get there.
So RSS feeds come from a podcast host, and Riverside does not host podcasts at the moment. And so if you want an RSS feed, you need to go to something like Transistor or Buzzsprout, and that's where you will upload the MP3 file you get from Riverside, and they will provide an RSS feed for you to distribute to things like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. So after you export, whether it's an audio file or video file, what you would do is download that exported file to your computer. So let's say this is something I exported. I'm going to download this file, and once it's downloaded, now I'm going to upload that file either to YouTube, to Spotify for Creators, or to my podcast host, and that is how you distribute it to those other platforms. Let me know if that makes sense or if there's a follow-up question to that.
We also had a few questions about organizing projects. We just got one in from Alexis as well. Could you talk for a moment about how to do that?
For sure. So every time you record with Riverside, we automatically create a new project. And you'll see here, every episode of the podcast has a new project. Then inside a project, you can actually have multiple files. And so this was our recording that we did, but you can also upload files. So maybe you want to upload a video or audio file that you recorded on your phone. I'll actually find one real quick that I can do. And so I'll upload a file. I can even say how many speakers and all of that. And once I upload this file, that will be an additional piece of media within this project that then I can use in the editor, use as an intro or outro, and that will just be organized in this same project. Now, if I wanted to move a piece of media from a project to another, you can click the three dots here underneath a recording or an uploaded file, and you can move it to a different project. So I can do move to project and choose one of the other projects that I have in my dashboard. You can also delete a project if you would like. And again, if you record multiple times, like one after another, or if I click record right here within the project, it will add that new recording here and keep it organized within the project with the other recordings that I have all in one place.
And we also had another question that was about we had a few questions about how many people that you can record and use smart scenes with and edit with. You are able to record with up to 10 people, including yourself. So it's you plus 9 guests. And then you're able to also use all of the tools that we have in the editor, which includes, yes, smart scenes.
And Kendall actually did a 5-hour live stream using Riverside a couple weeks ago, and she had guests coming in and out throughout all 5 hours. And so if you want people to leave and join and you're doing 5-hour live stream, that works too.
Yes, it does. We really put it to the test. We had another question about jump cuts. So if you're editing in text, maybe you'll get kind of a jump that might not look as great as you'd like it to. What I recommend doing for that, and this is what I do, if I delete a chunk of text, I'll make a new scene. So that Stephen, maybe you can show off kind of how that could look. So if you have 2 guests, for example, and maybe I want to cut out a big section, I'll take the before the section, it'll be 2 guests side by side. After the section that I deleted, I'll go full screen so that you can't really see that jump was made because you're switching from one shot to another, if that makes sense. Pam had asked, so you create a new project for each episode and guest. basically, you should have the same studio, I would say. This is what I would recommend for your podcast. And then every time that you're recording, it'll create a new project. And so what projects are in our mind is that you're taking your group of recordings and that's where you can find each episode, maybe. So if you'd like to organize it that way, you can. And that's just one way to keep all of those episodes organized. But if you'd like to maybe have one kind of episode in a different project, you can do that as well. It just could get a little crowded.
And I did that, what Kendall was talking about with the jump cut. I deleted a portion here by deleting a sentence. I added a new scene on that break, and now it'll go between the two of us, and then just to me covers that jump cut and that edit pretty nicely. And then you can add another scene later and have both you and your guest back on screen and just that quickly create those edits.
Awesome. And I'll end us off with Cole's question, which is, Stephen, what lights are you using? Everyone loves your studio, always. No one asks about my studio.
Yeah, your studio looks great too. You're great.
My purple studio.
So I use a 3-point lighting setup, and we have I'm going to get some YouTube links as I talk so I can share them in the chat. But I use an Amran 200X light above, and that's with an Aperture Light Dome 2. That's my main key light and does a lot of the work. And I'm going to drop a video link in the chat right now, and I'll call it lighting. And this, I talk about my lighting setup and also the other lights that I use, which I also use 2 Elgato key light airs, which are smaller lights, and I use those for fill lights and hair lights. And so that's my setup. Actually, in that video, I'll just share this real quick. I kind of show behind the scenes. Here's my key light that I use. That's the 200X with a Light Dome 2. And then I also show, I think later in the video, my key light airs. But anyway, yeah, that's the light.
Amazing. And just to close us out, I do want to say that, first of all, you can watch more of our videos on our YouTube channel. I'll just put a clickable link for anyone who's watching live. I also just want to plug the fact that if you're starting out on Riverside, or if you're starting out in podcasting and video creation, and you just want to access more people that are in the same boat as you, and you have questions and want to learn more maybe about Riverside or about content creation in general, we have a community of over 20,000 creators that are just there to be able to support, cheer each other on, help each other. I do actually see some of them in this chat today, so thank you guys for joining. And so highly recommend joining that community, and you'll see a lot more of me there. And also, if you want more video content beyond the YouTube channel, we also have a ton of webinars that Stephen and I have hosted, or that we brought in some people to share their expertise. So feel free to browse through our webinars as well. And until then, tag us on the things that you create on Riverside. We really love to see what you're making. And thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate your time and can't wait to see what you all create.
I just shared another behind the scenes video. Cole was asking about the smart color lights and stuff, which there are a lot of Philips Hue lights, but I just put the last video I put is a whole behind the scenes of my studio here if you want to do a little tour.
And don't we all? So thank you so much for joining, and can't wait to see what you all create. And yeah, talk to you soon. All right. Bye, everyone. Can you hear us?